Three, two, one. Woo! Hey, what's up, people? Guess what? Yep, you know me. It's another episode of the Giants Guys, the podcast you love to hate. We're back. I've got Spiro, I got Mikey Fresh, and as promised, yes, I know I'm collecting Ohio football player interviews, but you love it, so don't complain. In the house is Chase Blackburn. What's up, Chase?
What's going on, fellas? Appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Especially you got a lot going on. Like,
Welcome.
you got football camps, golf outings. You got the boys at the Clipper game. You got OTAs. I don't know how you fit it all in 24 hours.
Life comes at you fast, man. It's the way it is. You got football, you got family, you got foundation. I mean, that's all I got. That's all the time I got for right now. But using it wisely when I can get it.
Well, I appreciate the time, and like, you know, I've been kind of stalking you for a couple of weeks, so I appreciate it.
Oh, you're good, man. I'm sorry I messed up last time, man. I was driving back to Ohio, and OTAs got on me and everything else. But
hey, shit happens,
you guys have me back on.
Yo, you don't owe me an explanation. It's all good, man. We'll have a little bit of fun. All right, so I'm gonna start off with just like right from the beginning. You're an Ohio kid, all right? So senior year, I'm going through like the notes. Senior year of high school, your team goes 13-1. You crush it with 320 tackles, right? You know, you probably get a lot of offers with numbers like that. You know, how do you make the judgment to go to Akron? Because like, I got to tell you, Dominic Hickson had us in stitches, man. Because he's like, yo, that was the only offer I got. He was like, So I'm going to Akron. But he's like, Blackburn? He's like, everybody wanted Blackburn. So how do you make that leap to go to Akron?
You know, it was weird for me personally. I thought I was going to play at Ohio State my whole life. That's kind of the way I thought it was going to happen and play out for me. And being 195 pounds coming out of high school, I was unfortunately a little too small to play at that level at 17 years old. But,
Wow.
You know, Akron was the next best choice. They just came off the MAC. They just won the MAC conference there. And, you know, for me, it was a good fit when I went up and visited. Then after I committed, then now all the other offers started coming in. Because, you know, it's just kind of the way it goes. But, you know, for me, my dad kind of looked at me and just said, hey, you know, are you a man of your word or aren't you? When all the other offers started coming in, like you chose Akron for a reason. Are you a man of your word or not? So that's kind of how it worked out for me.
Papa Blackburn laying down the law.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's cool.
Man, a few words, but listen when he does speak.
All right, that's cool. All right, so you're at Akron, right? You're in Ohio your whole life. What's it like when you get the call? Because you don't get that draft call. What's it like when it's like, hey, your agent calls and like New York wants you to come? I mean, like, because we asked all the guys the same thing, even Carl Banks, you know, coming from Michigan, like,
yep.
It's a night and day when you go from somewhere else to going to New York. Like, is it culture shock? Are you scared? Like, holy shit? Or are you like, yo, bring it?
You know, I'm from small Marysville. So like for me, everything was a culture shock. I went to Akron. It was a culture shock for me. Didn't go out of Marysville much growing up, but then, you know, obviously going from there, I did mini camp with the Browns, got hurt there in mini camp the last day. So didn't get signed up there, but then, you know, fortunately got that call from the Giants to come up. And, you know, at that point that was all the options I had, you know, so go up there and perform and just play and let it all hang out. And that's the way it kind of took over. But, you know, as far as culture, I mean, I can't say I did a whole lot my first couple of years. It was more about football. Like I knew the only way I could make it was if I put everything into it. So not a lot of New York City, not a lot of Jersey. Just in the first couple of years, it wasn't a lot of experience.
Playbook, football, and sleep.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it was. You know, kind of got thrown in the fire there early with some injuries that other players had, and you know, just kind of lived and breathed it as I went into it.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Antonio Pierce, right, goes down. You get a chance, to step in, right?
Yeah, because preseason against Cleveland, week 1 was Antonio Pierce went down and Nick Grayson both went down, and so I had an opportunity to play basically 3/4 of a game in the preseason and played about as good as I could in that point, and you know, kind of the rest was history. But you know, who knows? A lot of times you don't get those opportunities. But when, you know, the thing I teach now, same thing I teach my players right now, man. Like it happens quick, and you're going to get an opportunity. You don't know when it is, but if you're ready for it, you know, life can happen fast. But if you're not ready for it, it'll be over quick too. So just take advantage of it, be ready for it, spend all your time to get ready for that moment, whenever it is.
Well, you had that interception for a touchdown your first year too. So like right off the bat, you were ready to go, man.
Right. It's like, you know, you think, you know, I got my first start, got a defensive player of the game against Kansas City. I'm like, I had the world by the balls, right. You know, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's the way it was, you know?
Yeah.
And then the next week I had the interception for a touchdown against Washington. And then I got hurt my neck, like third quarter, and was in a neck brace for 10 weeks and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, again, it comes and goes, but at the end of the day, you know, just kind of live through it and go and thrive. And, you know, God's going to put you in and give you a plan of success. He's never going to give you something you can't handle, and just keep going with it, because nothing's going to be too big or too small to handle.
What would you say is the difference with guys that need reps like week after week that build up into form versus a guy like you that seemed to be ready on call whenever your number was called? Like, what would you say that is a differentiator?
Honestly, I think it's preparation. I think it's the time away, the time you studying the film, the time you spend after practice with guys, with meetings, watching it, time you take walking through, taking those extra reps, because everyone's a rep guy, right? It just is what it is. Every person's a repetition guy, but my reps came from rewriting my notes 3 or 4 times in my notebook. My reps came from going through the film with Antonio Pierce and having him explain to me what he's seeing and why, and how the calls relate. My reps came from walking through with the other guys, post practice with the other young guys, and honestly, we had meetings every morning for a half hour with the first and second year players. That was extra reps for me, and I'd say the difference being the guys who don't really live and breathe it take that half hour, take that extra 10 minutes. Either the first one's out of the building, or the last one's in.
Yeah,
and they don't take it serious when they're in there. And so I'd say they're just not getting the reps because they're not mentally doing it.
I always heard Antonio Pierce was a film junkie too.
Yeah, oh man, one of the best, honestly. So I thought Antonio was the best player as far as studying film. He taught me a lot. I thought I was a good film studier until I got there. And I had no idea that I was just watching the film and it was watching me. By the time I heard him start talking about what he was saying. And then the crazy thing was, so now I'm in year 8 and I'm going to Carolina, and I'm there with Luke Kuechly.
Right.
And I'm like, holy crap, this guy was at a whole new level. And he had like photographic memory. The guy understood everything he ever saw, every play he's ever seen on film. He knows it, has it memorized. And I'm like, dude, this dude's unbelievable. So I've been fortunate to say I played with 2 of the best.
Yeah.
All right, here's a Super Bowl thing. 2007. You're in your 3rd season. Two points that's really unique about that year. Strahan's like holding out, right? Yep. You're in your he's on the beach in like California, right?
Right.
You're your 3rd year playing for Coughlin. I mean, there's all sorts of like, that year just started off so wonky. Like it wasn't like, oh, the Giants are coming. Like everybody's playing for the Giants. What was that year like from one? What's it like playing for Coughlin? Because you're now in your 3rd year with TC, and like, does he, is he still super rough around the edges kind of thing? Or
I think that's when it changed. I think Strahan holding out and kind of doing that. I think it changed a lot. That was his whole part of it. Like, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to come in. I want you to show your family, come around with your grandkids, show your family side, show some of your softer side. And that helped, I think, the relationships with players. And don't forget now, like Washington week 3, we were a goal line stand away from him being fired in week 3.
Remember it well.
I mean, no doubt about it. We got you. They came back and we ended up with a goal line stand there on it was 1st and goal, and ended up with 4 plays to stop it. And that changed the outcome of it. The first 2 weeks we had lost by 80-something points, I think, probably.
It was ugly.
To Green Bay and Dallas. I mean, we got throttled for 2 weeks in a row. So
what's that year like though? Like, are you guys like, hey, we got something here, or is it more like hey, we're still kind of building?
I think it was a build. I think it was a slow rev. I think you felt like he had some energy when Stray came back. I think we knew we had a good defensive line. When you have a good defensive line and a good quarterback, you always have a chance in the NFL level, in my opinion. If you have those 2 things, you always have a chance. We had a good, solid O-line that had been together, had some consistency. So we could build some things in that regard. But for me, it was more about, I thought we had a unique chemistry that we started to build when Strahan came back and everything else. And the guys just started liking each other. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was just like a like. And then once they started liking each other, then they believed in each other. And then it was a belief in the system. You started feeling the coaching styles come out. You started feeling the calls from Spags, and you started feeling the energy of what it was going to look like. And I think then it began like that buy-in of this is what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to do it. And that was kind of took over there at the end.
Right.
You hit me up. You hit me up here with the perfect quote. You say, "Hey, I'm gonna jump on 5 minutes early."
Yeah.
So like right away, I'm
Coffin
like, holy crap, this is real. He's coming off 5 minutes early. So like, do you like Tom? Like, do you like Coughlin? Did you like playing for him?
Loved it. I've been a guy that, for my whole life, pretty much I played for those type of guys. Not necessarily maybe as strict with some of the rules, but my head coach in high school was a guy that was no BS. And we were good because of it. And then I got to college and it was the same. And then I was playing for Coughlin. You didn't know any different. I was young, had no idea there was a different NFL.
Sure.
And I'd say even like consistently now, obviously being Coach Rule, being our head coach now, who played or who coached under Coach Coughlin for the year also.
Right.
So he's used to that whole 5 minutes early. He's a disciplinarian. He's those type of things. But again, I think he learned to be a little bit to show some personality, to show himself and have personal relationship with players. And that all stems from Coach Coughlin a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of these guys that we interview all say the same thing. They're like, at first, you know, it took some time to get used to it, but they were like,
oh man,
but it made us better.
We were going goal line every day. Y'all remember that? Training camp was goal line.
It worked out, right?
Yeah, it worked out.
You were there for the glory days.
My neck was okay. I hit Brandon Jenkins at the goal line like first day in pads. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm okay. I guess I'm going to survive this thing.
You were there for the glory days,
He's not
man.
the easiest guy to hit.
No, certainly not.
Fresh. He was there like at, those years
the
were
best
literally
years.
like in a time capsule. Those were the best years. I mean, don't get me wrong. They've got a ways to go, but I mean, if you're ever going to be around the Giants 2007, to that 2011 period, like that's what we said. This Tynes was the same thing. We're like, how could you beat that time period of being in New York for those two runs?
No doubt. I mean, I don't think there's anything like it. Those parades downtown New York, millions of people hanging out. Like, there's nothing like that. I say it, and I do believe it, that like getting something special about if I'm able to be a part of one in Carolina, to get the first one in that city, I think that's special because it's the first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like something about New York City, on, it was popping off. Every night.
You can come back anytime you want, man. We'll take you back anytime you want. All right, ready? Here's some names for you. Ready? 2005 to 2007, Tim Lewis. 2007 to 2008, Spags. You win a Super Bowl. You started 8 games that year. 2009, the linebacker coach Sheridan gets promoted. You start 7 games. It's back-to-back. Your 2 back-to-back best years from a production standpoint. You were really kind of grooving, and if I'm not mistaken, you're playing inside and outside. You're learning to play both spots. I actually have season tickets. I'm in the 22-yard line, 22 rows up. I've seen every snap you've played. So, it was a pleasure to watch him. Now it gets a little weird. 2010 to 2014, Perry Fuel comes in. You're voted special teams captain. Like, you are voted special teams captain. How in the world then does it 2011 come around and you don't have a gig? Like, I don't even you got to give me listen, one, everybody loves the fact that you're, your stories what people want to hear. We're excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But how does something like that even remotely happen? You're starting 2 back-to-back great years. You're the special teams captain. And then,
I asked myself that a lot for a while, and it was kind of like, hey man, I finally felt like I put myself in a position to have success and get a contract and all that kind of stuff. And I understand all that, but now being on the other side of it, I understand, I wasn't 2 things. I wasn't a flash player. I never was the big play flash guy.
Yep.
And then number 2, I don't know, you probably don't remember, but in 2010, I had both shoulders in harnesses after week 1. I tore my MCL. So I had a knee brace, 2 shoulder straps for the entire season. So I didn't move, but they called me duct tape for a reason. You know, until they called me duct tape because it was like, man, I was getting held together. I was getting taped up every day. So it didn't look pretty when I was running around. You know, I felt like I made enough plays to stick around, but it wasn't in the cards at that point. Again, like you said, my story is unique in that for me, it was a blessing for me because my wife was pregnant with our second son, and I would have missed his birth because I wouldn't have missed football. And she knows it's like almost like you wouldn't miss it. So
right.
And
happened
and
for a
you know,
reason.
Somebody
kids,
upstairs had a plan for you, man.
yeah, and you know, you got kids. Those first 4 weeks are the hardest.
Mhm.
And so literally 4 weeks to the day, I got called back after he was born, and it was 4 weeks. And I got on a flight that morning, flew in there on a Tuesday, started practicing on Wednesday and starting on Sunday. And it was just a whirlwind of emotions, and walking back in that locker room and having everyone's respect, the players were excited to see me. Like that's some of the most powerful stuff I've had as in my life, was just the way that they welcomed me back.
For
Really,
sure.
really awesome.
Where are you when you get the call? Because you know the urban legend is, you know, you're in class teaching or something, and like, you know, you get a phone call. Now I'm sure there's a little bit of truth to that, but how does it really go down? Do you think it's over, or are you like?
So I had done 7 workouts for different teams that year, and I already worked out for the Giants. I worked out for 7 different teams. My best opportunity probably came in again when I was going to the Rams, and Spags was the head coach. And I was changing a diaper for that one. And literally he's like, hey, can you be on a flight in 20 minutes? I'm like, well, my bag's packed. I'll be there. I'm flying to the airport. Then I get rained out, get stuck in Chicago for like 4 hours, fly in. They're doing an Impact 60 camp or something at the stadium. And so I had to work out without stretching on like this corner and I forgot my cleats. The only thing I didn't pack was my cleats because I worked out on them and I didn't have them in my luggage. So I'm like, the equipment guy's gone. It's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. They're gone. So I'm in lockers, like trying to find the size that fits me, you know, and it was just one of those things where it wasn't in my cards, man. It was the worst performance I ever put on the field. And I told Spags, I'm like, if you sign me after that, you're an idiot. Like, I don't hold it against you, brother. Like, I'm good. I know that was bad. And then fortunately, the following Monday, or right after that, the Giants are playing the Saints on Monday Night Football. And I was watching, my wife and I were in the basement watching, put the kids to bed, and we're watching it. And obviously it was a poor game. We got beat pretty bad. Mark Hershick went down.
I remember that.
And
Yep.
I was literally that night. I told her, I said, if it doesn't happen now, if I don't get called back now, it's probably not my cards. It's not going to happen. Like, I've been working my butt off trying to stay ready, but if it doesn't happen now, may not happen, you know? And so that next morning we're on the downstairs watching cartoons. My little one, my oldest is 1.5 watching cartoons. Yeah. My littlest at that time is my middle one now was 4 months old or 4 weeks old. So he's on my chest. Like, I'm on the ground playing with him, rolling around with the other one. My phone's up on the couch and it starts ringing, and I have my ringer on. It starts ringing and she's over there. She's like, "I'm going to get it." I'm like, "No, don't worry. It's just the Giants. Like, forget about it." And she picks it up, and I had it saved as Giant Stadium from when I was there. And she's like, "No, I'm serious. It's the Giants." I'm like,
oh,
like,
okay.
The phone. Well, hurry up. Would you hurry up? Remember the phone.
Yeah.
So,
that's great. Who was it that called?
Can you be on a flight? So
who calls you? Is it like it's not Jerry, right?
Say that one more time.
Who was it?
Jerry Reese. Who's calling you?
No, it was Kevin Abrams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Jerry Reese? Sorry, I got kicked off.
Oh, you're putting him on a spot on that one.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. I like Jerry. Obviously.
You're the only one that said that so far, just for the record.
I'd say the one thing that, obviously I think he broke up a lot of guys early, and it was just in the way that he believed in it, was that he wasn't going to hold on to guys too long. And so I think he broke up that team too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's about it. And I'd say, I think there was some of that. Like, he wasn't going to pay guys. He wasn't going to keep guys around that weren't dynamic playmakers, or really re-signing his group of players if they weren't explosive or dynamic. And so I think we let a lot of homegrown talent walk.
Yeah,
I
mean,
that's my opinion about it. But I like him as a person. I like him, all that kind of stuff.
We like I said, Mike.
We've had some mixed reviews.
Yeah. Mike and Spear are both, without saying anything bad about the guy. We don't know him, you know what I mean? But we've talked to Tollefson. We've talked to Ballard. We've talked to Hickson. Like we've been fortunate that these guys all like, because we have some fun. You know what I mean? We have fun.
Yeah.
We're not pressing anybody, but they've all said the same thing. They're like, you know, I did the best I could, and it looked like I was part of something, but I wasn't.
Yep.
Next thing you know, somebody else is giving them bad news. I mean, Ballard was great, man. He's like, he's walking around the field, and they're saying, "Did you tell him?" No, I didn't tell him. Did you tell him? Like, I don't know. Like,
that's NFL, man. Though that's right. That's the NFL.
There's some funky stories out there, bro. I'm serious. It's a what have you done for me lately league, and you know, there's some differences of it. I think the difference being in New York, I think with Corsi and early in those years, I think he held on to guys and believed in growing the town himself. And so it was a little bit of change of culture that probably made it even hurt worse, because you saw guys that played there for so long and played together. And so we felt like we had something. We'd been together. We had pretty good seasons over those years. Yeah. And, you know, it just felt like it was done a little early. But at the end of the day, decisions have to be made, and that's above my pay grade.
Who do you like playing for? Who's your favorite, you know, DC? Is it Lewis? Is it Spags? Was it Sheridan? Was it Fuel? Like, who do you like playing for? Who's the guy that you were like, right now?
I really love playing for Spags. I did.
Yeah.
I loved it. I just love the way he coached. I love his energy every day. I like the way he pressured. I like some of it was so simple, but it seemed like it was coming out of every which way, but it was just a little bit of rotation, a little bit of disguise, and just the energy he coached with. That was probably, I just love the way he coaches. I like him. I talk to him at least every year as much as I can. I think he's a great football mind, and he loves football.
So you still talk to him?
Oh yeah. I talk to all these guys, man.
That's
I'm
awesome.
blessed to still be around it. So, I you know, even guys that are out of it now, I still talk with.
Who's coming? You got a golf outing coming up. Who are you bringing in for the Spiro? Read me the golf stuff.
So yeah, we got a golf tournament at the Ridge, and the Gardens in Marysville, Ohio. Am I right on that?
Gardens. Yeah.
Okay.
Who's coming in to play?
I'm jealous.
Are you a good golfer?
Say that one more time.
Are you good at golf?
I'm not as good as I once was, but I got 3 boys now, and I don't play near as much, but I can still hit it around. I played out there the other day and shot I shoot 7 over. So it wasn't terrible.
There you go.
But
so you're good, man. That's good. I got an 18-month-old baby girl, and I try to play as much as I can, but
any of your boys coming in for the golf
I got CJ Saunders. I got a lot of high state guys, former players, some things like that, some coaches. My old Akron coach is coming down. He's a head coach at Ashland.
Nice.
He's coming down. I'm trying to get Luke Fickle to come up from Cincinnati. You know, Coach Cooper usually comes down. I don't think he's going to be able to make it this year. They have another outing for a big event up his way.
You got to get them Ohio boys. I'm going to tell I'm calling
Ballard, Cordell, those guys.
Are they coming?
Down in Florida. Hickson's down in Pensacola. So
my
old roommate Charlie Fry.
I'm going to make Ballard feel guilty that he's not coming. Is he coming?
Yeah. He just texted me today. He just texted me. So.
All right. By the way, that dude.
He's like a bodybuilder now. He's like 300 pounds of pure muscle.
You got all those tattoos. You got to make him fill out. You can't let him go saggy.
He does. He's got that full sleeve rocking.
Right. You can't.
I don't know how he's going to swing a club though. He's too big.
he told us he was 299 pounds.
Golly.
I mean, he played at like what did he say?
Right, 270.
Yeah, he said he was around 277. It's 275, man.
He's jacked. I mean, like he was sitting there talking to us, and his arms got to be 22 inches big, man. They're huge.
I haven't seen him in 2 years. I haven't seen him since our last golf outing, so I'm excited to see him.
Oh, you won't miss him. He's big. All right, here's a one that everybody's been asking me, tweeting me. They've been tweeting me all week about it. All right. You show up the locker room for your second tour of duty, and your 57 is no longer there because it's Williams.
Jaquan.
So when you show up and everybody's probably hugging you and fiving you, they probably love to see your mug back in the building because you seem like a good guy. I'm sure everybody loves your energy. You always brought that. I can see walking in the building, everybody loving you except the equipment manager.
Yeah.
So what happened?
The trainer's like, man, you again?
Yeah, right. The trainer's like, Chase is back. I got a job.
Yeah, right.
So how does that go down when you show up to go get your 57 and it ain't there? How's that go down?
Jay was actually great. Like he was like, man, you can have it. Well, that kind of stuff. Being in the middle of the season, NFL was kind of like, kind of against it, whatever. 93 was available. To me, I got a chance to play football. I didn't really give a shit what I was wearing.
Yeah, I hear you.
So at the end of the day, in that season, the way that finished out, 93 became my number. Obviously, I went on and kept it in Carolina. My kids know me as 93.
Right.
So
do they
it's kind of a wild deal. I like it. I like the fact that, I see some middle linebackers that wear 93 now.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's definitely not a common number. So, that's kind of cool to me. I feel very honored to, maybe started some trend. Maybe it's just they got lucky and I was the only number left. But
I thought maybe because we asked Carl Banks about his number because when he left Michigan State, he was 54. And he said he showed up and Andy Hedden, who was wearing 54, met him at the equipment manager's office and said, yo, homeboy, 30 grand and it's yours. He said, Carl Banks said he looked at the equipment manager and goes, I don't care what you got in the bag. Pull me out a number.
No doubt, man. I'm telling you, I wish someone would have won 57 or someone would have won 93. That thing would have been for sale, auction so fast. I could buy a couple more jerseys.
Right.
But, it is what it is. Like, no one really wanted my number. But, it all kind of worked out. 57 was my high school number for a year, too. So I had some uniqueness to it and then came out. But
well, like you said, now it's your own. Now 93 is your own, man.
Exactly.
No doubt.
Now whoever wears it has to intercept Tom Brady in the fourth quarter of a Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. Once you do that, you kind of can't move off of it.
Yo, I've watched that play like 7.
I saw 93 running down the middle of the field, and I thought I had to throw that ball. The 90, what is he doing there? And I guarantee you that Brady thought the same thing. Like, what the hell is 93 doing there covering Gronk? I'll throw it.
He's like,
you got up there, dude.
93's covering Gronk. We got this.
Yeah, we got this.
You got
a couple picks though, man.
Most of the time, but
yeah,
blessed to come down.
Spiro, you're right, Spiro. He
had a couple picks in his career.
I know he's being very humble about all the injuries and the duct tape stuff, but I mean, you got a knack
four
for
interceptions
for
a linebacker, man. That's no joke.
Yeah,
you got a knack for getting the ball.
God is good, man. God is good.
What's better? Hold on.
He must play some basketball.
Question for you. What's better, a sack or an interception?
Interception.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, you get the ball, man.
Turning that ball
over.
I
wish I was OC and Manure, and I wish I had however many.
Yeah,
strip sacks for touchdowns he had, but I'll take those. But I'll take a pick over a sack any day.
Yeah, and that specific play that Mike just brought up, like I watch it a bunch of times. It's like you're like looking back at Brady, you're looking at Gronk, you're looking back at Brady, you're looking at Gronk, you're looking back at Brady, and you're like, I mean, I got to tell you. You timed that thing perfect because
man.
Gronk's got
just
3
a jump
inches
ball
on you.
I'm just glad he had a sprained ankle at that time.
Fair enough.
I might have been the next Moss candidate. So
got
Moss.
Chase, can you dunk?
Yeah, I can still dunk, but I can only do it about once now with my knee. And then I'm
all right, because I'm saying like you got some ups. And because
I used to be able to throw it down pretty good. Now I can't do that no more.
Yeah, you're playing high school basketball, right? I remember.
Yeah.
I saw that too.
Yeah, I've been dunking. I dunked since I was like a freshman, but I did a dunk competition with JJ Solinger at the Ohio. We were at the District 10 All-Star game, playing it with him, the North South in Ohio, and
wild.
And it was fun. It was fun, but so. I used to be able to throw it around a little bit.
How do you like Carolina?
Love Carolina, man. The weather's great. People are great. For me, it's kind of a small, big city or a big, small city, however you want to look at it. Like it's a lot like home to me. And just kind of, it's unique. It's just quiet. It's you got land and you're 30 minutes to anything you want at the same time.
So what are you doing at the Clippers game now then?
Well, our foundation is up here in Ohio. So we're 20 minutes outside of Columbus. My wife looked up some tickets and was like, "Let's go to the Columbus Clippers game." My 3 boys all play travel ball,
gotcha,
love baseball, love it. And one of the Indians players is playing down the night, coming back from injury. So
nice.
They're real excited to see him. We're sitting right behind the home plate there, and
I
they
love
yell at him and
Chase,
and all that kind of stuff.
Spiro.
Do you have a LeBron jersey?
Say that one more time.
Do you have a LeBron jersey?
I do not. My kids do.
Of course.
Yeah, my kids do. I can't say anything. I'm a LeBron guy. Being an Akron,
Me too.
I got to
I
watch
love
all
him.
his high school games. When I was at Akron, he was in high school, and now all his home games were at the University of Akron.
Right.
So I worked a lot of them.
That's
Oh, that's
great.
awesome.
Those games and got to watch him do 360s and between the leg stuff in the middle of games and sprint around the court. I got to see all that. So I can't say anything. I'm a LeBron fan, no doubt.
Hey,
Same. I got a Lakers LeBron. I got Cavaliers LeBron.
There you
I got
go.
another Lakers LeBron. I just don't have a Heat one.
You're a
I got-
fanboy.
kids.
Fanboy.
That's my kids. They got the whole unis. I got all of them.
Yeah. So I got a 13-year-old son. Every Christmas, my dad buys him another quarterback. So we have a closet of like 30 quarterbacks going all the way back to Brett Favre.
At least it's not the Browns. You'd have like 90 of them.
Yeah.
You said it, not me, man. Spiro, he sends me a text, saying like, he's not on Twitter a lot, and I'm looking at the number and I'm like, this guy still has a 201 area code phone.
Right.
Man.
Represent.
So I said, you still rocking the jersey? He's like, you still rocking the New Jersey, man.
So got to
I
do
dig
it,
it.
man. For one point in time, I had a second phone when we started our foundation, thinking I was going to kind of separate them. And at that point, I was like, for what? Like,
No.
It's
Too
my-
many numbers, man.
yeah.
Get
too
all
much.
combined into
I'm not
one.
a two-phone guy. Not
Yeah,
a
I
two-phone
hear
guy.
you.
Can't do it.
Dude, I was so
there's the quote.
confused. I thought he meant Clippers basketball game.
That's what I thought at first too. I was like, why are you in LA?
No,
Oh,
baseball.
The quote.
Gotcha.
Got it. The quote is, ready? What we learned today is Chase Blackburn has never had a bat phone. We got it.
Yes. Good
Yeah,
man.
right.
Good man.
So,
All right, here's the last question I have for you. And then Spiro, I want you to make sure we pump out, and I've been supporting it all week, just cranking on what you're doing. I got some friends out there that are going to try to pass the word on too. I got some Ohio friends. You sent me your logo. Thank you very much. I want to put that up on the website.
appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Look, we try to do what we can to help. Listen, I've been pumping Super Bowl fishing for Dominic Hickson for 3 months now, man.
I'm telling you, that's a hell of a gig too, man. I went down there. We went down. It was awesome.
Have you gone? Is it cool?
Oh yeah, great. It was unbelievable.
So
He does a heck of a job, man.
does he?
Yeah, he does it. He does it right. He's
I
good at
told
it.
him. I told him. I said, look, I'm going to be in the Outer Banks at the end of July with my family. I rented a house on the beach, and he goes, you know what? I've never fished in the Outer Banks. I go, yo, come on by.
Come up. Come on up.
I said, all right, here's the biggest question. All right. And I want you to have an open mind when I ask you this question.
All right.
Okay. One, it's a two-part question. What do you think of what's going on now with the Giants? I don't know if you get a chance to watch. I know, of course, you're completely, full with Panthers,
Right.
so you probably don't watch a lot of ball, but you know what's going on in the NFL. What do you think of Judge? And then the second part of that, it's basically in your wheelhouse, my friend. Special teams coaches are now going to the NFL as head coaches. Part two of that is it in the cards for you? You like what you're doing? Is that something you think about, or am I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm
No,
just
you're
saying,
good. You're good.
You're a football.
so
You're a
I'd say
football
the
guy.
first part of that question, I think the Giants. I always keep up with the Giants. I got a lot of, I got people within the organization I still follow and talk to, and it's my only other team, right? So
Right.
to me, I always have ties there. I always keep an eye on them. Yeah, I always keep an eye on them. So I'm not, the way I look at it, I like the way they're heading. I like, I think Daniel Jones has a good chance. I think he can play. I think he's talented. I think they've done some things to solidify. I like Dave Gettleman. Obviously, he brought me to Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
I think he builds the lines well.
We're
and I
pro
think he's doing
Gettleman
that
here, just
again.
so you know. We're pro Gettleman here.
Pro Gettleman. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. I'm on a good crew then. So,
Well,
for me, I'm like,
he takes a lot of heat. Of heat, but we all
You should see a lot of the fans here. They kill the guy.
Yeah.
Unless you're winning in the NFL, and especially in New York, unless you're really winning, you're going to get killed, right? Like,
Right.
Yep.
Coughlin was getting killed until he won.
Eli gets
that's
killed
what it is.
still. Eli gets killed still. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah, but-
Eli was getting killed. Eli couldn't do anything right until he won a Super Bowl, and then
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, you're pretty decent. So,
Yeah.
for the way I look at it, I think New York's a tough place to win at all times. I think they're, I think Daniel Jones is a good guy to be in that. He has the Eli Manning characteristics of just staying even keel and be able to handle the pressure. So there's a lot of things I like. And this is a quarterback driven league. So for me, I think they're heading the right direction, for Joe. And I think with the head coach, I think like you said, Joe, I like him as a person. I like him. I like his drive. I like his consistency. I think he is going to leave his imprint on the team, and it happens quickly. And so, I think obviously I'm rooting for him being a special teams guy.
You could be
do
next,
I want to be a
man.
head coach?
You could be
Do you
next.
want to be a head coach? Do you want to be a head coach?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So, we'll see if it's in the cards or not. I don't know that, but all I'm going to do is my job daily. Right now, I'm a special teams coordinator, and I'm doing that as good as I can. And I'm whatever Coach Rule needs, little side stuff, projects, whatever. Like, I'm going to do it as good as I can, as high quality as I can. And if something comes of it, great. If nothing else, I'll be able to go to bed and say, I did the best job I could do to put my team in position to win.
Well, did you play with Dan Campbell, or is he before you?
Before me, yeah, I did not.
All right, because I was saying, Campbell's the same way. He kept his head down, grinded his way through, gets his shot.
Yeah.
Well, we're rooting for you down there, man.
It's just like anything else, right? You put your head down and go. No different than a player. Same as a coach. Same thing in the business world. If you just put your foot to the grindstone and you go and don't let up and just take it day by day. Coach Rule has a great saying, like, just what's next. Like, I love it. What's next?
Yeah.
Like, whatever it is, good, bad, or indifferent, like, move on one play at a time, one snap at a time, one thought, one project, whatever. Like, just do it as good as you can. And then whatever the results are, it doesn't matter. It's the process of doing it that matters, and the results will take care of themselves.
Right.
No doubt. Well, good luck this year, man. Good luck.
Yeah,
week
we're
7.
rooting for you, man.
Yeah, we're rooting
Week
for you,
7,
man.
you're coming back to the Meadowlands, so we won't root for you that week, but
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
All good, man. All good.
And I appreciate it, man. We'll hit you up. Maybe we can get you back on. When you're, because I don't want to keep you too much longer. Your kids are in. I want you to go enjoy your family. We're gonna pump out the golf outing stuff, right, Spiro? We're gonna pump out the 5K run that's coming up. I'm gonna pump up.
Camp.
Yep, I'm gonna take your logo and I'm gonna put it on the website. Everything you give me, I'll back it up.
Appreciate you, fellas.
All right, Chase, man. Thanks
Chase.
for coming by.
I appreciate you guys making time for me, fellas.
Yeah,
Great chatting with
absolutely.
you, brother.
But listen, I'm gonna hit you up when the season's over.
Sounds good.
All right,
Deal.
Chase.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
Take care.
All right, man. You guys stay on. Thanks, Chase.
Cool.
What's that?
You done recording? Or it's still recording?
No, we're still recording. So listen, hey, you're listening to another episode of the Giants Guys. That was Chase Blackburn. He is the special teams coach of the Carolina Panthers.
Maybe he's the next Joe Judge. You never know.
Dude, all these guys we've had on are like awesome dudes.
Yeah, they're
all
down to
them.
earth.
Nice.
They're down to earth. They're chill. I feel like they would hang out with us and grab an espresso or two.
They are really good guys.
Just...
and what's amazing is, like, they all got really cool stories.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Then none of them are like top first round pick, like had the spoon fed life, like these guys all earned their way, man, and they came through big time.
Yeah, I didn't want to keep them too much longer because he's got the kids, you know what I mean? So we'll get him back. And like Fresh asked him, like, do you want to become a head coach? He didn't blink.
No, he was so about it. I love it.
He said just definitively yes.
Yeah, like there's some guys that like want to be like they're okay with being coordinators for life, but like he clearly has bigger aspirations, man. Like he wanted that right away. He knew it.
Well, you know what, too, Spiro? He's a football guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's learned from the best because he learned on a like he said, he's had 3 head coaches that are disciplinarians. So he knows to be disciplined. But
right.
I thought what the key is, who did he learn from? Antonio Pierce and Luke.
Yeah,
Keaton.
I think not a lot of people are going to realize how much of a great leader and like behind the scenes Antonio Pierce was. That's great to hear.
And dude, I was just like looking back at his stats, and like whenever he was called upon, he came in and he did some work, man. Like I said, 4 interceptions for the Giants. People don't get that their whole careers, and he was not playing 16 games this season. Yep. Like he had 98 tackles and 3 sacks back in 2012. Like He
That's
stepped up
why
big time.
That's why I asked that question too. I think there's something to be said for the guy, like even in baseball, like a pinch hitter that comes in that's been cold all game. Like some guys can't do it. They need to play
No,
every
yeah.
inning. They need to be in the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
Same thing in football. Like guys, they need the reps. They need to be in September. They get snaps every game, October, November, and then they can get into a rhythm. A guy like him could be ice cold, like on the couch with his kids on him, get a call from
Yeah.
Giant Stadium, all of a
And he's
sudden
like, "Let's
come in and be
go."
productive. Like there's
Right.
more. It's got to be a little bit more than prepreparation. I think like there's something to that.
Personality.
Like, a guy that can be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, he's being humble because, that's the kind of guy he seems like he is. But, like you said, like it's a mentality like, hey, I got to be able to roll with whatever comes. I
Mhm.
can't be a prima donna. I can't be worried about that. Look, he tried out for 7 teams. One team he tried out with no cleats.
Right.
I
Awesome.
missed that. That's when I got kicked out somehow. I don't know what happened.
So he tried out for the Rams when Spags was the head coach, and he packed, whatever he needed. But did he say it was raining or something that day?
Yeah. Whatever it was.
Yeah, he said
It was bad.
He didn't bring cleats, and the equipment manager left.
He was rushing. He was rushing out of the door.
Yep. So he to get on a plane to get there. So when he gets there, he realizes fresh. He doesn't have cleats. So he's going through the locker room, going through people's lockers or whatever he said, looking for a pair of cleats that would fit him, and he
That's
couldn't
amazing.
find a pair. So he worked out in, I guess, sneakers, and he said he had such a bad workout that he told Spags that he.
I heard that part. Yeah. That's
Okay, yeah, that he shouldn't sign. Yeah.
Oh god.
And the other thing too is, we're getting these interviews with guys that are pretty cool and laid back because they got cool stories and they don't mind telling them. Like you said, they're not. What was the word you used? Was spoon fed?
Yeah, right. They're not spoon fed their whole entire career. Like they had to earn every bit of it. It was awesome. Awesome to hear.
Do me a favor. Read off his charity.
Yeah. So we got 5K on June 25th. He's got a youth football camp in Marysville on June 27th, and then a golf tournament like we were talking about at the Ridge and Ridge Golf and Gardens in Marysville, Ohio. So if any of you guys are in Ohio, Monday, June 28th, look that up too, man, because this guy does a lot of good work. All details can be found on our website. It's blackburnchasingthecure.com. BlackBurnchasingthecure.com.
Boom.
Get in there. You can still register for the 5K camp, and foursomes are available for golf. So do this, man. Do this. It's good. It's good work, man. Chase's out there doing God's work.
That's why I was kind of on the same page as you guys. I was thinking, how was he in LA? If he was in Carolina.
Yeah, he said Clippers. It was because the Clippers game's on tonight.
I'm like looking in the background. I was like, that doesn't look like a basketball.
Is he in Phoenix? Is he in? Is he?
What Clippers are what? AAA?
AA or AAA?
Yeah. I was a little confused at first, and I was like, okay, now it makes more sense. He's like, I'm still in Ohio. All right, there must have been a baseball team.
In fact, he was in. Actually, Spirit. The funny thing about it is when he called me originally, he was in Carolina driving to Ohio.
Right.
And I'm looking at his number, and I'm like, wait, you still rocking the 201 area code? He's like, still rocking Jersey, man.
Respect it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, Blackburn's a good guy. So you're listening to another episode of the Giants, guys. I hope you guys, will favorite, upload it, share it, check it out. We're also now on Spotify. We're also now on Google Podcast. You can get us the audio version there and a couple other places. Waiting on.
Send me those links. I'm gonna pump them out.
Fresh is not pumping anything out, people. Just so you know. Okay, we love.
Maybe
Fresh.
at 12 o'clock midnight tonight.
Yeah. But for the record, Fresh is not pumping anything out. Okay, we love Fresh, but pumping,
sprinkling.
Yeah, pumping.
Speaking of pumping out, be on the lookout for a Tay Crowder article by your boy, Mr. Glass Half Full. We did a little film room action. Don't count my boy Tay Crowder out. We spoke to one Giants linebacker. We're talking about another one this week. Check it out.
Yep. Check out nygiantsrush.com. These guys.
I'm Jan.
I will tell you, I did want to ask him what he thought about Blake Martinez, but I'm starting to think he, being a Carolina Panther, he might not be able to maybe they don't want him.
Can't talk about players. Yeah, but linebackers respect linebackers.
He knows report, though,
he knows what's going on. He knows Blake. So he maybe next time we'll chat about him and pick his brain on Blake, and hopefully Blake's a lifetime Giant like Chase was for a while, man. Like hopefully he's around for a long time.
I got to tell you, like, I mean, I was reading all these guys that he played for, and I thought he was going to say Spags, but like, it's crazy to know that like you were talking about his stats. Those 2 seasons, like the
yeah, he was pumping up some tackles, man.
2008, 2009, like he basically started like 15 games, and then the next thing you know, he gets voted special teams captain, then he doesn't have a job.
Right. It's weird how the NFL works, man. And like he said, it was about, people look at the wow plays and the athletic ability, but sometimes there's something to be said about a grinder like Blackburn that always was in the right place, right time. Like I said, 4 interceptions like over his career. He just made plays when he's called upon, and like you can't account for that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really good point, Sparrow, because when he made the interception, he was either getting an interception for a touchdown.
Yeah, he's not just going down after that.
Yeah, or he's
Making
picking
a
a
big
ball
one.
off in front of Gronk in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like
Big plays.
these aren't just like, deflected passes that he picked
Right.
off in preseason.
Right.
Nah.
He's definitely one of my favorite players because he was always fun to watch. I always just thought he had a great motor. He gave everything all the time.
He looked like he was having fun out there too all the time. Like he was just like happy to
Running
be there.
around.
Yeah. I respect that.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, I was just curious on the number thing because like he's like he said, even his kids look at him as 93, and I'm like, I don't know, man, you're always 57 in my book.
Yeah, right. Hey man, you got that 93 picture though of him stretched out getting that interception. That will live in like a special place in my heart, man.
So you're listening to nygiantsrush.com and the Giants guys, of course. While I have you guys, I wanted to let people know that I've got some special swag coming.
Baby.
That will
Yes.
be
Look
coming.
at that.
All right. If you can see that.
Fresh.
All right. Those
Fresh.
are
That's
the
fresh,
new,
right?
The new that's the new Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay posters that I've got coming in. All right. It's put it this way. I've got a bunch of them coming in. We're gonna be giving those away. They are
Nice.
badass. Yeah.
They look dope.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, man.
definitely cool. I got some folks out in California making those up for me. Right hot off the press. No one will have them but us.
Exclusive.
Yep.
Exclusive.